There's a curious pattern in the human story. Across centuries, cultures, and civilizations, we've all been running toward truth, toward God, toward enlightenment. We call it a spiritual path, a self-improvement journey, a pilgrimage of the soul. And yet, the farther we walk, the further the horizon seems to drift away. Why? Alan Watts once said that our endless searching is a magnificent misunderstanding, a divine game of hide-and-seek in which the seeker and the sought are the same. The punchline, he said, is that you are already what you're trying to become. You're the awareness doing the looking and the awareness being looked for. In this documentary, we explore that realization. We'll travel through the illusion of seeking, the trap of time, the myth of the separate self, and the stunning simplicity of awakening that has no destination. Modern culture teaches that life is a quest. You must find your purpose, reach your potential, become your best self. But beneath that noble rhetoric hides a subtle poison, the assumption that you are incomplete. Every book, every technique, every guru silently confirms it that something is missing, that fulfillment lies somewhere else, in the next practice, the next lifetime, the next achievement. Watts called this the great spiritual hustle. We seek to cure a sickness that never existed. The very act of searching creates the feeling of separation, like chasing your own shadow or hunting for your glasses while they rest on your head. It's a beautiful irony. The more earnestly you seek, the more you affirm the belief that you haven't found. The more you strive for enlightenment, the more you convince yourself that you are unenlightened. The mind builds the maze and then complains it's lost inside it. Effort is sacred in every tradition. Work hard, meditate longer, pray deeper. But as Watts reminded us, spiritual effort behaves like waves on water, slap the surface to make it smooth, and you only create more ripples. The harder you try to still the mind, the noisier it becomes. Zen masters expressed this with humor. A disciple once asked his teacher, "How long will it take me to reach enlightenment if I practice very hard?" 10 years, replied the master. "And if I practice day and night?" 20 years. The message is timeless. Striving sustains the illusion of distance. Enlightenment isn't a goal to reach, it's the background in which all goals appear. When you stop trying to arrive, you discover you never left. This doesn't mean apathy. The dance still happens, but now the dancer knows it's a dance. Effort becomes expression, not pursuit, movement arising from completeness, not hunger. Our obsession with progress rests on an unexamined belief. That time is a line we must move along. We think we start in ignorance and travel toward wisdom, from birth to death, from sin to salvation. But time is a psychological lens, not an external highway. You can recall the past, but that recollection happens now. You can anticipate the future, but that anticipation also happens now. All experience unfolds in the single, unbroken present. The journey is only thought moving through memory and expectation. If awakening is real, it cannot happen later because later never arrives. It can only happen now, the same now you have always occupied. The eternal present isn't a mystical concept. It's the only reality you've ever touched. Jesus hinted at it when he said, "The kingdom of heaven is at hand." The Buddha declared, "Nirvana is here." Each pointed to the same truth. There is no path to what already is. The horizon you chase is painted on your own eyelids. The engine behind all seeking is the feeling of being a separate me, an island trying to reach an ocean called God. But look closely. Where is this me? In the body. The body changes every moment. In the thoughts, they vanish like clouds. In emotions, they rise and fall like tides. The self, says Watts, is not an object. It's a pattern, a whirlpool in the river of existence. The whirlpool has a shape, but not an independent life. Separate it from the river and it disappears. Likewise, you are a pattern the universe is making, unique, yes, but inseparable from the flow that creates stars, storms, and symphonies. Once you see this, the urgency of seeking collapses. Who is left to be enlightened? The ocean has never been apart from its waves. Imagine the beginning of time as pure consciousness, infinite, luminous, all-knowing. To experience itself, it plays a game. Let's pretend I'm not infinite. Let's forget who I am. And so it becomes galaxies, trees, and people who look for God. The thrill of the game is the moment of remembering, when the divine, disguised as you, suddenly laughs and says, "Of course it's me." That moment of laughter is enlightenment. Not thunderclaps or angel choirs, just a quiet recognition that the seeker and the sought were never two. So the search itself is sacred theater, a cosmic comedy where the punchline is awakening. And the only sin, if there is one, is taking the play too seriously. Human civilization drowns in information. We collect data, memorize scriptures, quote philosophers. But knowledge isn't understanding any more than reading a menu is eating dinner. Real understanding happens not in the head but in the marrow of being. When a Zen master answered 3 pounds of flax to the question, "What is Buddha?" he wasn't being cryptic. He was pointing to the immediacy of reality, to this, exactly as it is. Awakening isn't conceptual, it's experiential. It's the shift from reading about water to being soaked by it. Every spiritual text is a finger pointing to the moon. Wisdom begins the moment you stop worshiping the finger. If there is only the present, then enlightenment can't be earned. It's not the end of a path but the ground beneath every step. Time is not a corridor you travel through. It's a kaleidoscope turning within consciousness. The past and future are dream fragments projected by memory and imagination, but the screen on which they appear, awareness itself, never changes. And this awareness is what you are. Not the changing film of experiences, but the luminous screen that allows any scene to exist. You can't perceive it as an object because it's the very act of perceiving. It was there when you were 5, it's here now, and it will remain when the body dissolves. Timeless, silent, untouched. This recognition isn't mystical escapism, it's ultimate realism. Reality has always been now. We've been told life is a journey. Watts proposed a different metaphor. Life is a dance. In a dance, you're not trying to get somewhere, each step is complete. The music itself is the point. The universe dances as galaxies spin, as waves crash, as hearts beat. You are part of that rhythm, not an observer of it. Enlightenment isn't the finale, it's realizing you've been moving to the music all along. Once life becomes dance instead of pilgrimage, the present regains its sacredness. The small things, a laugh, a breath, a sunrise, stop being stepping stones to enlightenment and become enlightenment itself. Eventually, the seeker grows weary. After all the books, retreats, and disciplines, a simple truth dawns. Nothing needs to be added. The end of seeking is not resignation but revelation. When the chase ends, stillness begins, and in stillness, reality reveals itself. Non-seeking isn't apathy, it's clarity. A mind free from the compulsion to improve finally opens to what is. Effort becomes play, meditation becomes breathing, living becomes loving. This is why the sages say, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him. Because even the idea of enlightenment can become an obstacle. The goal must vanish so that the seeing can begin. What happens after awakening? Ordinary life but luminous. You still eat, work, love, and err, but the background of tension is gone. Actions arise not from lack but from fullness. You don't stop acting, you stop acting out of fear. It's like the difference between a beggar and a king. The beggar begs because he believes he has nothing. The king gives because he knows he has everything. Same world, different understanding. Living from completeness doesn't make life perfect. It reveals the perfection already woven through imperfection. Compassion flows naturally because you see yourself in everyone. Joy appears effortlessly because nothing is missing. Wisdom blossoms because there's no one left to defend. The spiritual search ends where it began, right here. The treasure never left the chest. The awareness hearing these words is the thing you've been looking for. You've never not been it. So pause, stop searching. Feel this moment in its ordinary perfection, the hum of existence, the breath entering your lungs, the awareness watching it all. This is it. This has always been it. You are the dance and the dancer, the wave and the ocean, the question and the answer. The search ends, the joke lands, and only laughter remains. Because the truth you were afraid to face is the most liberating one of all. You were never lost.